In this video, I'm going to be discussing philosophizing on ursu style, festividades, dança, grita, criatividades, saudade, acepçãodades, como fiery flame, fire, stop and chop, rock and blue metal roll, that can bring to mind the livre pensando, como livre agência exists, and which operates to the free thinker whom thinks those thoughts in regards to the festival of sentimentos that pertain to specific deepening expansivenesses of cause and effect that's internalized within the cause and effect dynamic associations that regard specific subjectivo-objectivo relationships in which we navigate our own conscious processes that pertain to experiential learnings of meaningful information, in which we engage more meaningfully in the acquencimento, bacanamene, that allows us to be able to engage those cool, philic, golden ranges of temperature and tempo within the capacity of our own freedoms that is intrinsic innermost to the conscious navigations of mind-body, in which there are these capacities to engage mentalizing processes of mental representation in which we can think forward into the forecastings of future meaningful emotions that allow us to deepen the sabamento and the habilidades, in which we have expansive knowledge abilities that are specific to specific domains of operation, in which we can think with one hat on in regards to what it means to be able to draw, and then to be able to communicate words to that image that we're imaging through an imaging process that's different than another aesthetic process, say, that involves being able to meaning interpretation, what words mean, and to engage language ability, and to be able to communicate effectively, and to deepen our understandings of knowledge, or to be able to, from that sort of language process, lyrically engage with music and be able to parse out the syllable sounds that allow us to form not just words, but songs and poetry, ultimately, and poems that have this creative sense making to it, that has sentimental value, that deepens the sensibilities of our existence by engaging the maturation of knowledge and wisdom intrinsic to the internalizations of the individualized process of our self, and individualizing our thoughts that deepen our meaningful emotions that aren't experienced by another but are our own, and they're experienced, and which really creates the meaningfulness to them, that are independent from others, individualized to us, because it's internalized to us and pertains to our subjective experiences that our direct perceptions are causations of, in which how we choose to conduct the forthcoming perception, action, behavior influences the next navigation and the horizon set forth, in which we journey towards and engage our own questing into the questions that are most meaningfulnesses to the centralizing meaningfulnesses of our existence, in which ultimately portamos como mosto se bem chegar é necessário, condições, constitute meaningful knowledge, and not just arbitrary, meaningless, and absurd absurdities of knowledge, but knowledge which we can think from the Father that fuels the fire, passionate, burning, the ursu dança, roar, the festival emotions that explore every avenue of our senses, and that which pertain to multisensory transcriptions of meaningful information within the mind-body unit of analysis direct perceptions navigate with each component that we can then composition within the boundness to the situatedness of our existence that to each of us is distinct as a thinker, and we can liberate ourselves only insofar as that we can tap into and create our own knowledge approximate to those meaningful emotions that are well calibrated, and that we can identify those centralizing meanings that mean most to some internal, innermost ego need, that higher emergent and connective syntheses of meaning compositioned within the not just mind but reciprocal relations that are operating within the nervous system, in which there are specific cause and effect relationships, that these dynamics of association form these meaningful connectivities of meaningful utterances of thought that deepen our capacity to think freely and access knowledge, that we can engage resourcefully with regards to the developing resourcefulness from prior existing knowledge and words, that we develop our arsenal and array of canonical range in association with our perspectival, imaginative consciousness, that we can string the chords according meaningfulnesses together in the accostividades, so that deepens in a healthy physical, psychological, and optimal well-being, that its component parts and pieces really combine two and only two sub-propositions meaningful to be able to constitute that optimal well-being, and that is physical and psychological well-being. That physical and psychological component that really regards mind-body and mind, and not just mind-body, but the meaning of such, and such terming to terms that have prior existing objective truths, boundness to the situatedness of existence, that regard our capacity to engage more meaningful self-discovery as we can cultivate a deeper understanding of the comprehensive nature of mind and body. And that's all I want to say for this video. I hope you enjoy it. Have an awesome one, and deepen your meaningfulnesses.